project, but none more important than the man who designed the set and the spacecraft and the gun and the whole production design of the entire show, without whose concepts and brilliance and genius, none of this would be happening today. And if I could remember his name.
Hey, I didn't get my shot.
Oh, I'm sorry. How about a big hand for Chuck Davis?
Well, it all is initiated with a story conference with the producer, and in this case we were fortunate enough to have the cinematographer as well. And out of that came a style that we all agreed on.
Tell us about the designing of the shuttlecraft.
They were designed modularly so that we could have the capabilities of expanding them to make them larger. In one instance, one vehicle that is not shown here on stage is over 60 feet long, and that appears in the first landing at the refinery. That vehicle then, by removing modules, we could reduce it down to the size of this, and a further reduction, and it gets it down eventually to the size of the small fighters. 7 noses and tails, 5 vehicles which we used and will use today, and 2 of them we blew up. If we show people getting into one of these, and then we show one of these approaching the mothership, and it becomes a very minute dot compared to this huge craft, now we're starting to say something about the direction that we're trying to go with size. The miniatures are direct replicas to these. So the miniatures are geared off of what we've established in full size. They're used in the motion control process that allows us to marry up the miniatures with our full-size sets. I don't think you can really do anything wrong, because who's to say what the inside of this would really look like? And that's where some of the fun came in, because in my department, with the staff of people that we have, tremendously talented people, they all had their ideas and their input. And in many instances, I just became a funnel that all that talent poured into, and I got to rechannel it where it best applied. They helped come up with the concepts of being able to make it longer or shorter, and the ways to move it. They never have any problem blowing them up.
Right.
Well, you give these guys a chance, they'll blow up darn near anything.
We've blown one up twice. We blew it up and brought it back into our facility on stage here, stage 2. Rebuilt it in 4 days and blew it up again. And actually, I think it looked better the second time.
But it's not worth fixing again.
It's a fun project to put together.
They're enormously fun.
We were higher than this, Bobby, weren't we? Yes, we were. Because I was up a couple of rungs, and the lens was right over my head. Okay, Richard, Jenny, on the ship, please.
Where's that white line we had?
The chalk mark has been picked up. No, that's not it.
Oh, right there it is.
No, it was right.
Okay, that should be the mark.
No, that's right. Right around in here.
That's the mark right there.
Where, here?
No, over to your right. Left. Sorry. Back up. Right.
Jenny, give me a number if you're on.
I think the bottom frame line was lower than that, John.
It shouldn't be.
Okay.
If you want to have the guys in the catwalk.
Yeah, that's what we had. I think so, too. Yeah, we're just on the set. Right. Okay. Okay, let's do it. You guys on the catwalk, no spitting. Here we go.
Barker.
And background. Action. Here. Here, all right.
There, a little more.
The background who are passing the Earth people, might give them a couple of glances and check them out a little bit. It's the first time you're seeing them on board here. Same with the fellas upstairs. Take a looking down a little bit, trying to see what you can see. Checking out the Earth females. You're going to be here for a while. Janie works next with Jenny and Richard up on the top. Okay, and some background people in the background coming along behind. We'll be up there Up from this way. Then we'll jump into the far end and come across.
I was watching all those rehearsals.
Were you? Yeah. Well, that's what I was rehearsing them up there. So we'll come across them into the main body of the show.
Going to be at CBS.
That was the piece that we were going to shoot at CBS, and we'll do it here instead. Okay.
Jack?
Well, it's a shadow recorder. How tight on Jenny am I? Right into here. Jimmy here, I'm on 100 millimeter, which is full figure, a little more than full figure, walking down to Sharon and Cynthia at the far end. Full figure, Jimmy. Don't do anything repulsive. And then we'll put all the plate shots at the end, and then we'll play musical spacecraft and juggle it around at the very end.
How much more do we have?
On Richard? Oh, he's got to go soon, doesn't he?
After lunch, maybe. At least he's going to double
I got this shot and one more, and we'll be okay. We should be able to get him out by noon. That's okay. That's fine. So I can see.
1 second. Wait a minute. Okay.
Okay, ready, Jimmy, and action!
Well, V is a story about many things at once. It's the story of the takeover of the Earth from another planet, people from another planet. But it's also the story of how people respond during wartime. Some people won't allow their neighbors any space for hiding. And other people say, yes, you can come into my house, I'll protect you because all men are my brothers. Other people bury their heads in the sand. And so it's a story about, it's an adventure story. It's a mystery and it's an adventure, but it also touches on the way human behavior works. Well, I think there are some of us who look at obstacles as insurmountable, and there are some of us who look at obstacles as challenges to overcome and opportunities to better ourselves and to live up to our own promise as human beings. The guy that I'm playing is Mike Donovan. He's a person that tries his best to live up to the promise of being a human being. He feels a sense of responsibility toward other people, so he doesn't lie down under the yoke when the Earth is being taken over. He fights back. He becomes the strong arm of the resistance. He does what the man on the other side of this lens does in real life. He's a photographer. A news cameraman is what he is, and that allows him access into the alien craft and also gives him a nice standpoint to view all of humanity. Very often, newsmen are allowed to go places that the rest of us civilians aren't able to go, and so it provides a good format for this guy to get in where the bad guys are and see what they're doing. I had to do some very strenuous special preparation for this. I had to keep down the bubble of enthusiasm and joy so that when I got on the set, I looked like a professional. I wasn't giggling in front of the cameras all the time. And the second thing that I had to do was our producer, Chuck Bowman, was very kind in establishing liaisons between myself and real news photographers and real news teams. And in that way, I was able to assimilate some of the real aspects of the heroism of these people's professions. I don't think that any of us know exactly what kind of heroes are in different trades in our society. But I think some of the greatest heroes that exist are in the news profession, those people that bring us tapes from destruction in El Salvador, and people that bring us tapes of the Vietnam crisis and things like that. These are people that lay their lives on the lines so that humanity can be informed as to what it's doing and how to rectify situations that it doesn't like. It's a nice thing being an actor because when you portray a fellow that has such strong characteristics as Donovan does in V, they begin to rub off on me, Marc Singer. And so I begin to have some of those same traits and learn from this show. And hopefully the good qualities of our heroes in this production of V will also have a positive effect on the audience that watches us. V presents a very wonderful opportunity for an actor because we're limited as actors only by the scope of our imagination, which means that as far as we can imagine the universe is as far as we can go with our imaginations. So in V, sometimes we're working with actual people, and sometimes we're working with optical effects. And when we're working with optical effects on V, it allows the actor the opportunity to let his imagination run rampant. And basically all I can tell you is that when it comes to dealing with special effects, you're looking at a spaceship that isn't in fact there. If you've been given a description of what is there, the excitement of what the audience is going to see generally fills that imaginative gap for you. This is a best work converter. So your best acting goes in here and comes down these little tubes, goes around the other side, comes out as close-ups which drop on the editing room floor.
And then sun out?
And then I'll start my move. Or should I come back to here again? I guess it's best to do it just...
I think you just slide back that way. That's what I think I'd do.
Why don't you start right here and walk that way?
Keep going, another 20 feet. Go, Mark.
Coming through.
Did you see the guys down in here? I did. That's what he was thinking. The idea being that... Good. Okay. And then he goes as we said, just as the guys are passed, then he goes. How's the Zoom move? Is that okay, Bob? Do you believe in this?
It's, yeah.
Sure, Zion was it too.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. It's hard.
Let's try it again. Let's rehearse it one more time. Watch your toes.
Pretty well in there. Sidelines, but it doesn't matter to me. Does that work okay?
Yeah. But I just want to make sure that it all comes together. We see them, and we see them, and we see you duck back.
Yeah.
You know. Yeah. What? Ready, Rick? Close the door. I hope so. Harder. And background. Doors. Pan, Ricky. Tommy.
Stand by for vectoring operation. Unit 14, stand by for vectoring operation.
Action, Mark! Now that they're starting to take the chemical out, take the shot and you inch, like you said, inch back to get a better angle.
Okay.
And feel the wind.
Well, now I'm out of the line. Oh, here, okay. Gotcha.
When you try to open it on the right-hand side so it doesn't look like you know it's going to open on the left. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Wind right here.
From San Diego at 2150, 2200.
Okay, let's go. And turning. Marker. And action. Background. Out and feel the air, lean back a little bit. Gee. Print that. Let's do one more. Who sent that background person through? What a drag it is to bring this stuff all the way up here to dump it out in the atmosphere.
What a waste of time bringing all these chemicals up here and dumping them out.
Ducking through the cage. Right, how fast was the zoom? It was about 1, 2, 3, 4. Right. Okay, good. Print it. Let's go around, guys.